Welcome into the Rob Breaux Show. I am Rob Breaux. I am the host. You are the co-host. Comment below. Who's going to win in Omaha? We also have an actual real-life co-host today with Carson Robinson stepping in.
What up?
Got some Chinese comments. I cannot read those. I cannot translate.
Yeah, no clue. I was just about to ask you.
They also say this music rocks. It does.
I know you and Kyle talked about Spanish the other last week on the Gauchos pod, but Chinese is way out of our comfort zone. Or Japanese, I don't know what that is. Yeah,
I know ni hao.
Yeah, konnichiwa.
Those are two different languages, but
yeah, I know. That's I'm saying. Japanese, Chinese still have no idea. Yeah,
we can say hello. It's all Greek to me, huh? All right.
Fact.
Let's see. Comment below who's going to win in Omaha. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Carson, we did pretty good on our picks. You picked Virginia. I picked Duke. I think that was the only different one we had.
Yeah.
Virginia wins, which I wanted to pick Virginia, but I didn't want to go clean sweep with you. So I picked Duke.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I'll still give you the win.
But we got Oral Bob. We got TCU, Wake Forest. I think we might have gone. Did you go 8-0?
Did we go sweep? I'm pretty sure I was sitting there watching it all, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just went sweep for teams going to Omaha. So
I think so.
Yeah, and if you go, if you go back to the regionals, I think we might have gone pretty close to sweep of what teams are going to make it and what teams aren't. I think I might have said A&M was going to win the Stanford regional. That was about it.
I think that was one of the ones we missed. Yeah. You should have filled out a bracket at d1baseball.com.
Yeah, right. Too bad they don't give away $1 million for that one.
Yeah. Game starting today. TCU and Oral Roberts play at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? I think they play at 1.
I think it's 1 o'clock. 1
p.m.
2
Eastern. 2 Eastern.
Yeah.
And then Virginia, Florida tonight. Thoughts on either of those games, Carson?
Love the Oral Roberts TCU matchup. First of all, it's just really cool to see, the non-common team of Oral Roberts. Now, if you've been around baseball in this area for a while, Oral Roberts has been a good baseball team for a long while. Rob Walton, who's now the pitching coach at Oklahoma State, was their head coach for a long time at Oral Roberts. Had some great teams there. My wife's cousin actually played for him at Oral Roberts, had great teams, went to the regionals before they had supers, all those things, but never made it to Omaha, or had made it for the first time since the 1970s or something like that, when they weren't even called the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. They were called the Titans, I think, at that point. But really cool. TCU, though, we talked about it during the Big 12 tournament, hottest team in college baseball right now. I truly believe that, even though it pains me to say it sometimes, just being a college baseball fan, they're the hottest team in college baseball.
Oral Roberts has been good all year.
Yeah. They're 51 and 12.
Yeah. TCU has dipped in and out, but TCU is just hotter right now.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot to be said.
Everyone is hitting. Everyone's hitting with power. Guys with 2 home runs on the year have 6 home runs in the regionals and super regionals.
Yeah.
So it's just been ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Virginia, Florida, that's a matchup. When you get to Omaha, you expect kind of these kind of teams to be in Omaha. Those are 2 teams that we've seen year in and year out with chances to get to Omaha every single year. And that one is a kind of classic Omaha matchup, like going back to Rosenblatt Stadium days. Virginia's been really good for a long while. Florida's been really good under Kevin O'Sullivan. It's going to be exciting to see that matchup. This side of the bracket to me is kind of, 2 hot teams. I know Oral Roberts is 51 and 12. They play in the Summit League, not a great conference. Some good baseball, but not a great baseball conference.
Hey, they're in Omaha.
They're in Omaha because they're hot right now. They're playing their best baseball of the season right now. You're not a 4 seed and you end up winning a regional and then a super regional because you're not hot. TCU is a hot team. Virginia and Florida, both similar of, top of their conference, really good baseball teams, really good arms. Maybe not Florida losing a game to Texas Tech in the regional. So what? It's kind of hard to beat Florida 2 times in a double elimination in setting. So just because of the arms they got, and we Texas Tech fans saw that firsthand in Gainesville a couple weeks ago.
So I'll take you're taking TCU.
I'm going to take Florida out of this side. I think TCU and Florida will play for this bracket championship, and then Florida ends up going to the best of 3.
Just today, though, you'll go TCU.
Oh, yeah. Today I'll go TCU. Today I'll go TCU and Florida. Yep.
All right, I'll go Oral Roberts in Florida today, just to be a little different.
Who do you pitch if you're Florida today? You go Waldrop today, or are you going Caglione? Or
you set it up last week to pitch backwards. I wanted to stay with that, though. Caglione pitched on Thursday, so that'd be an extra day of rest. Do you even need him to pitch through the first couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that
freshman.
Yeah, I don't know that you throw Caglione unless you like get into a situation where you need him. I think that you have 2 top line starters in Waldrop and in Sproat, who you can just go 2-0 with those guys, and then if you feel like throwing the freshman that threw against Texas Tech in the first one they won against Tech, then go for him. And then if you need Caglione in that final one to get to the bracket or to get to the championship series, go for it.
Right.
Like, you got really good arms, so it's not like you're losing out too much if you're just letting Caglione play first base.
Yeah, and you're letting him focus on hitting. I know he still hits when he pitches, but there's just
I'd love to see the numbers there.
Yeah, he's just different when he's not pitching. He's playing first base and focusing on hitting.
Yeah, because you're focused on the mound. I mean, college hitters at this level are really, really good hitters. I don't care who you're facing. So if you're trying to focus on what you're doing on the mound and then have to get locked into that I got to go up here and rake position thing too, that's tough. I mean, he's done it all year, obviously, but it's a tough thing to do, especially at this level.
All right, tomorrow, Wake Forest and Stanford. Wake Forest, probably the deepest pitching staff, maybe the deepest lineup. They're the best team in baseball. They have been for a long time. We'll go Wake Forest dominates Stanford, and that Wake Forest LSU matchup is going to be really good because I think LSU beats Tennessee tomorrow.
I think LSU wins this side of the bracket. LSU's arms really, really good. Just absolute howitzers for arms that LSU can throw at you. Wake Forest is good offensively. I mean, they put up 22 runs in their regional championship game. Like, give me a break. 22 runs? You kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't care who you are in the super regional. I mean, if you're scoring 22 runs in a super, that's kicking someone's rear end and making them take it. And so Wake Forest's offense is going to be really good. I don't know that Stanford pitches it well enough for anything to happen, but in Omaha, you never know. And I think Tennessee, it's kind of funny how Tennessee, they're the number 1 team in the country going into the tournament last year, don't even get out of their own regional. And then now this year they're in Omaha. That's just how crazy college baseball is.
It's been since 1999, the number 1 overall seed has won the national championship.
Wow. Who was that?
I do not remember who it was, but I just saw that stat this morning.
Cal State Fullerton, probably when they were in Augie Garrido days.
We're going to take Wake Forest to break the streak.
Are you?
I am. I don't know why I said we. Me and the Legion inside my head. We're going to take Wake Forest.
You and the show. I love LSU, man. I've always, and you know this, I've always been a big LSU supporter. I wanted to go play at LSU, wasn't good enough. LSU is just really good. They're solid. They're a solid baseball team. I like LSU in Florida in the championship series just because I want to see it. But I wouldn't be upset if I saw Wake Forest in Florida. You're talking about the 2 best teams in the country, according to the seeding, 1 and 2. And according to what I've seen with my own 2 eyes, LSU's not as good offensively as Wake Forest, but I think they pitch it a little bit better this week. And they've been there. I mean, LSU's got the pedigree. They've been there. And their coaching staff's been there. They were there with Arizona, won the national title a few years ago before they turned this thing into to the LSU job after Paul Maneri left. And so, yeah, this is I want to see LSU Florida. I feel like LSU can win this side.
Is the best story Wake Forest or Roberts? David and
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Oral Roberts play for a natty. I love the little guy winning a natty.
Anybody but TCU, right?
Yeah, I don't want TCU winning a natty.
Are you the kind of guy that, since you're a Texas Tech fan, you want to see Florida successful? Because it's like, all right, well, we didn't beat them, but at least they won, kind of thing.
I'm not a big
Or
Kevin
do you care
O'Sullivan
at all?
fan.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
hate
a big Kevin O'Sullivan fan. I think he's a great baseball coach.
Yeah.
I think the way he does it sometimes is wrong, but I mean, he's been successful, so what do I know? Um, but yeah, I as a Tech fan, you'd love to say, yeah, I mean, my team lost to the eventual national champion. I don't give a crap about any of that crap.
Yeah, I don't really care
I
about
just want to watch good baseball. Like Omaha is,
Yeah.
and I've been there. The only 2 times I've been there is when Texas Tech has been playing. But Omaha is the greatest atmosphere I've ever been around, other than the World Series when the Rangers were playing in baseball wise. Like one of the, and there's tons of fans from the teams there, but there's also just tons of baseball fans. And baseball, I feel like, you go to a Super Bowl and you have just a common fan who wants to say, hey, I went to a Super Bowl. They could care less about who wins a game in the Super Bowl. You go to Omaha and you got so many knowledgeable baseball fans that it's just a crowd of 22,000 baseball fans that by that point they've picked a side. Like by the championship series, especially, and by the end of the first like 4 days, fans have picked a side because they watch the teams on the field. They see the teams out in the, on their off days, all of those things. It's a really cool atmosphere. Yeah, Omaha is just a really nice place to go watch baseball.
Did you see the Oral Roberts Omaha shirts?
No, I did not.
You know how they always do the Omaha pun?
Yeah,
Like Oma Frogs,
right,
Gomaha for LSU.
right.
Yeah,
Hogs for Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah. So Oral Roberts, what do you think they did?
Oh man. I don't want to get. I don't want to.
Oral aha. You could have just said oral ha.
Yeah, oral ha. Yeah,
But oral aha. I don't know. I didn't love it.
I don't love that.
And
Don't
then
love that.
Stanford, everyone had a pun except for Stanford. 7 teams could figure out a pun except for Stanford just did Stanford baseball.
And Stanford's the smartest school in there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, boys?
I mean, Oma card. I don't know.
Oma card.
What do you do?
Oma Stan. Oma Stan. They're the Stan of Omaha.
I guess.
The Stan account in Omaha because they're always there. It feels like. I mean, Stanford is one of the most. Stanford is one of the most classic Omaha teams you can go back and look at, like in the 90s when they're playing at Rosenblatt Stadium and you got LSU playing Miami and Stanford's playing, whoever. Cal State Fullerton's always there. Those 4 teams felt like they were in Omaha every single year. Mississippi State back in the day. How about that? Crazy that Mississippi State and Ole Miss don't even make the tournament. That's 2 of your last 3 national champions?
2 of the last 2. I think they won it back to back.
Okay, so Mississippi State won, then Ole Miss won. I was thinking Vandy might have snuck one in there in between, but
no, I think it was Mississippi State and then Ole Miss last year.
That's fair. I mean, that's crazy. When was the last time those 2 teams were in a college baseball tournament, much less Omaha in a year? So crazy.
All right, can you guys give an update on the portal? I saw UT lost several guys. Is Tech targeting anybody? Texas Tech is targeting lots of people.
Yeah, arms,
bullpen arms. I would assume an outfielder. As far as specific names in the portal, I don't know. If you were talking football or basketball, I could give you names.
Yeah,
but baseball recruiting is so closed off. Like, there's not a lot of people reporting on it.
Well, and you don't get guys coming to town, like taking visits and posting that on social media, all of those things, because a lot of these guys are out playing summer league right now. So they're playing collegiate summer league in 5,000 different places. And so, they're going after guys. I mean, you're not just going to not do anything in the transfer portal. Tim's shown that he can get guys in. I mean, he's brought in the likes of Monteverde through the transfer portal. I mean, you're talking about a guy who was a Division III, Division II, and then a Division I pitcher. Brendan, how am I blanking on? Birdsell, Brandon Birdsell, Bryce Bonin. who was the Easton Morrell, another dude from the transfer portal. I mean, tons of guys that we've seen in the transfer portal that have panned out really well for the Red Raiders.
Hester,
Hester this year. Yeah. So, and then I'll say this: last week we said that we don't see many of your big name guys like a Hudson White going in the transfer portal, and see you, Hudson.
Yeah.
Speaking of Arkansas,
not a surprise to me that he left.
Is that? And I heard Gus talking about this the other day. Is you think it was one of those deals where he wants to be the catcher behind the plate, and they tell him like, dude, you're probably not our number one catcher if we bring somebody in. We'd love for you to play somewhere else.
He wasn't the number one catcher this year. It's
no.
just that your third baseman got hurt before the year, so Bazell had to play third.
Yep. Agreed.
And again, if you can hit, you'll find somewhere to stand. But if you're a freshman of the year, a former freshman of the year, and you just finished the hottest hitter on the team, and you go into your exit meeting and say, all right, do you have a guaranteed role for me? And the coaches say, we'll certainly try. That doesn't really extend a bunch of confidence. I feel like that's how it went.
Yeah.
But Hudson White is a surprise to leave. He's a blow to the program, right? He's very good. I don't want to discount him leaving.
Right, yeah.
But if Travis Sanders is healthy and is playing third base, and Bazell and the new guy in Maxey are all fighting for catching roles, I mean, where are you standing? You stand at second base? Austin Green's back.
Yeah, you got Austin Green, and then you got two freshmen in Burns and Tracer Lopez. They could both play short and second.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Where does Hudson White play next year?
Yeah, and you're right on this comment. Every team in the Big 12 knew it was an immediate steal to second base because of the catching debacle. I mean, that's true. And your pitchers didn't help by holding them on any better, but the catching, you didn't have anybody back there that presented a problem for throwing base runners out. And that's not even having plus speed on the bases either. That's having, a little bit above average speed. You can still swipe a bag and get in a scoring position. And I think that was a big reason why in Big 12 play, you struggled a little bit, especially against the West Virginias and the teams like that who are aggressive on the base paths. Randy Mazey's always been aggressive on the base paths. So, and Texas too. Like, they took a couple bags from you in that series. You lose 2 1-run games. I don't remember exactly how it all went, but yeah, that's big. And so, and then Florida figured it out too. They were stealing bags. So, you got to have someone back there who presents an issue for would-be base stealers. And you've got to do a better job of holding guys on. And that's period. Like, that's a pitching coach problem.
And that's 2 years straight you've been really bad at it.
Yeah. I mean,
and who's been behind the plate?
Yeah.
I mean, it was an epidemic the year before. It was also bad this year.
Mm-hmm.
It just hadn't gotten any better.
I mean, even with Braxton Fulford, it wasn't great. Braxton had a pretty good arm, still does, and he could throw a guy out if you give him a chance. But it wasn't like just. You want to be able to be around the 30%. You'd love to be around 40% throwing out base stealers. It's the 40%'s high. You'd love to be around 30. Without looking at the stats, I would guarantee you it's not even anywhere close to that for this year.
At one point, it was like 19.
Oof. Yeah. You want to be over 20. That's for sure. That's a gimme right there. So, yeah, it's one of those deals, and you may go get a catcher in the portal. I don't know. It all depends. And baseball, like we talked about, Rob, is one of those deals where names don't start to emerge until they commit. And sometimes these guys, the baseball kids, don't even have a Twitter or anything that's on social media. And there's so many baseball programs in Division I college baseball that and there's so many players on each roster that it's hard to keep up with who's going here. Kendall Rogers can't look at everything and say, this kid's going here. This kid's in the transfer portal. He's visited this, and this. They don't do that in baseball. It's just a little bit different in the recruiting sense of things. Because like recruits in baseball in high school, they're not going to a weekend series to watch Texas Tech play unless they don't have a high school series. But they're not doing an official visit during baseball weekends. They're doing official visits during football weekends in the fall. That's when those kids' official visits are. So, and while you're having fall scrimmages and all those things, baseball's recruiting is just a bit different. Even in the transfer portal, it's really different. So don't criticize the pitching coach. Well, the Gauchos can get over me criticizing the pitching coaches.
Hudson White had 27 stolen bases against and caught 1. Quick math. That is.
That's bad. That's the quick math. That's bad. 1 for 20. They were 26 for 27.
That's what it says.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No bueno, dog.
Maxey was 2 for 12. 2 caught stolen, 12 stolen bases.
That's under 20%. I can do that math real quick.
And then I was looking for, I know
what I would love to do is go look at, say, what's the catcher for Florida? 2-letter word. What?
BT.
Huh?
BT
Riopel. Yeah, go look at. I mean, he's not a great catcher. Of course, Florida's pitching. It helps when your guys throw 102. But
when did we get fussy about the pitching coach?
Yeah, I don't know.
People say stuff all the time.
I've been fussy about it, and
will be mad about it.
Well, and the thing about me is I've been fussy about it, but I have a little bit, and so do you. You have a background in baseball too. I mean,
no, wait. I think I know who this is. Yeah, we'll get fussy about you because you DM us. And
I'm not starting up.
If you DM us after every bad game, and that's all you ever do, and don't ever give any credit in any good game, and you win 40 games, yeah, that's annoying. It's not that you're criticizing the pitching coach. It's how you go about it.
Yeah.
Let's move on from Texas Tech. Is the Texas Rangers still y'all's second best team in the MLB behind Tampa Bay? They are in the second tier. Tampa Bay is the first tier, and then the Texas Rangers would be in that second tier with like the Braves, the Orioles.
Yeah, Baltimore, yeah.
I think the Astros and the Angels are right there, probably right below the Rangers, even though the Astros are 3.5 back and the Angels just took 3 of 4.
And then the Diamondbacks are in that tier too. In the NL West.
Diamondbacks right there. But I don't know that there's a clear second team in the Major League Baseball world right now. But that brings us to our second topic. I guess our third topic. I didn't really plan to talk that much about Texas Tech baseball, but the third topic here, worry level on the Texas Rangers. You just lost a series to the Angels. You lost a series to the Rays, which no worry to me on the loss to the Rays, but 2 straight series losses. Are you worried about the Rangers at all? The offense looks to be struggling. The pitching has been what it's been. Any worry level at all?
Here's the thing. When you play 162 games, you're going to have a stretch where you just don't play good baseball. Like the Rays are going to have a stretch here before too long. It'll probably be after the All-Star break because they'll have won the division by then, it looks like. But
I don't know.
Yeah, the Orioles are keeping on their heels. They're only 7 games back. No, if you would have told me the Rays and the Orioles would be 1-2 and 2 of the best teams in baseball going into June, middle of June, I'd have slapped you in the face and told you've been drinking too much. You need to go to rehab. But the fact of the matter is the Rangers are still a good baseball team. They haven't pitched it poorly. I mean, the back end of the bullpen still needs to be solid. It needs to be solidified. The bullpen has given up something. Like against the Angels the other night. You play really good. You go into extra innings, and Cole Reagans gives up 4 runs in that extra inning. And you try and mount a comeback, but it's just hard. It's difficult. And the Angels are a really good offensive team. I mean, you got the best player that we may have ever – you've got 2 of the best players that have ever stepped foot on a Major League Baseball field. I mean, Mike Trout was the best player in Major League Baseball history in my mind until Shohei Ohtani got here. Now Shohei Ohtani's straight up taking that over for Mike Trout. Shohei Ohtani's going to make like $1 billion in his contract next year when he's a free agent. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
But the guy, I mean, he gets a win on the mound. He gets a win on the mound, and then he wins the game by hitting a jack last night. Give me a freaking break. That's little league stuff. That's what dudes doing. That's what Brody Poole did in high school.
Yeah.
Like, and it was cool to see it in high school, but you're like, never going to happen and see that again after high school. You'll see it. I mean, Jack Caglione's doing it in college at Florida. He won't do it in the big leagues. He's not that good.
No.
Shohei Ohtani is that good. He's leading the league in home runs.
Yeah, he's a unicorn.
Give me a freaking break, dude. And so losing 3 out of 4 to the Angels at home stings. It stings. But the Angels are a good team. Like, everybody thought they'd be pretty good. Phil Nevin's a pretty good manager. Of course, it was crazy. Did you watch that game last night?
I listened to it. I think they're a little better than I thought they'd be.
Yeah, they're better, especially with the rookie shortstop. He's been better this year. But Nevin, so anyway, last night Nevin goes to take the closer out of the game because he's walked 3 dudes in a row in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah. And
just grabs him by the jersey. I mean, straight on grab by the jersey, and it's like, get out of here. And the guy just pulls back from him. I'm like, oh, here we go. Let's go. Like, this is what high school coaches do. And that was pretty crazy. I didn't watch the post game, but I'm sure they asked him about it. But yeah. And then taking 1 on the road against the Rays, I was glad with that. Like, if the Rangers can go and take one out of 3 against the Rays, cool.
Did you see the A's?
No.
They beat them twice.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Cubs beat them, and I was there for the Cubs and Rays game, and Marcus Stroman 1 hits the best team in baseball, and Stroman's dog turds. So
that's baseball, man.
Yeah, it's just baseball, man, and Major League Baseball especially. So,
but I'll say this: in the world of the Rangers, my worry level is 0, and it will be 0 all year, unless they get below 85 pace for 85, right?
Yeah.
You were on pace for 106 wins. I thought you were going to win 85. Anything that you do is gravy to me. Like, you're a year ahead of schedule.
Fact.
And you lost to Grom. You don't have a bullpen that is credible. Like, anything that happens is gravy for me. So am I worried? No. If the Astros pass them in the next 3 weeks, am I worried? No. Unless they lose 10 in a row, then I'm like, okay, that's weird because Bochy generally doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But any kind of loss, series loss, a couple of series in a row, you're going to have to extend a losing streak all the way through like the trade deadline for me to start to worry.
That's a fact. Yeah. And here's the thing too, is they're going to go out. Chris Young's going to go out and get some arms to help. Like, you don't need anybody in the lineup. I don't think you need to tweak the lineup at all. Like, this lineup is fine. Where would you tweak the lineup? That's my question. Like, what do you want to do with it?
Get rid of Josh Smith.
Yeah, well, him and Travis Jankowski can just kind of dipsy daddle around the 225 mark for all I care and be just fine in the 9-hole. But and you need Ezekiel Duran to stay healthy. Like, that dude, when he's 100% healthy, is really, really good.
Yes.
And he's a Swiss Army knife. He can play anywhere on the field. But as far as the trade deadline goes, you got to go and you got to get arms. I think you need one more starter. You need to go out and look for a starter, look for a relief guy in the back end. And I was in Fort Worth this week and listening to 105.3 The Fan there in the Dallas area, and Mike Bassick and their show was on, and they were talking about this same thing. And he presented the trade with the Chicago White Sox of Dylan Cease, who's the big, tall left-hander, throws 100 miles an hour and back-end guy, and Lucas Giolito in the starting rotation. Those 2 guys, and you're probably going to have to give up Owen White or Jack Leiter or Acuna, somebody like that is going to have to be given up to get 2 guys like that. Giolito's been an all-star 2 times in the last 4 years. He was not great last year, but he's been good. He's consistent. He makes all of his starts. You know what you're going to get from Lucas Giolito. Dylan Cease in the back end is really good.
I saw Kansas City was pairing Barlow and Aroldis Chapman together.
Ooh.
As a combo in the bullpen. I mean, that automatically makes your bullpen completely different.
Yeah, and Joe Barlow, he'd be glad to see the rotation they have now since the last time he was in Texas. Because wasn't he in Texas, 5 years ago when the rotation was just every rookie was getting paraded out there and getting shellacked, and then another rookie's getting paraded out there and getting shellacked.
I don't think he's cut his hair since he left.
Yeah, he probably hasn't. But, I mean, if you want to bring Aroldis Chapman in, I'm not mad about it. Bringing in a guy who throws 102 miles an hour from the left side. I mean, he's not the greatest closer of all time just because he's not consistent. But having somebody in the back end like that, and then you also have, you have Will Smith back there that can do things. He's not going to light up the radar gun by any means, but he's consistent. Right. Yeah, I would go out, and obviously you're not going to be able to go and make a trade with New York or anybody like that for any of their bullpen. They got the best bullpen in baseball. If you just watch their bullpen, it's ridiculous with Green and all those guys. It's so hard to say right now just without looking at it, but you're looking, Seattle's out of it. What do they have? They have the back end of their bullpen. They got some good young arms, but I don't know if you want to go after young arms. If you just want to go after dudes who maybe have 1 year left and this is their last year on a contract and then they're going to be gone after this year. Like, are you really going for it this year, Chris Young? Or what are you going to do? That's where I kind of have the differing view of, do you think that you can go and win a World Series this year with what you got? And right now I'm still like 75% go for it. And the other 25% is like, if you're going to trade for someone who's got like 3 or 4 years left on a contract, not someone who's got half of a year left. And then they're gone as soon as, free agency hits and you brought them in and you lose in the divisional round. Like, that's not what you want to see.
Yeah. And the Giolito
and you gave
trade,
up big pieces.
Yeah. Do you want to give up a bunch of minor league? I don't know.
Can we give up Kumar? Because he ain't ever going to pitch.
There's a lot of guys you would give up.
Yeah. Nobody wants Kumar Rocker.
No, I was amazed the Rangers drafted him where they did.
Because of Jack Leiter, that's why.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's Scott Barlow, not Joe Barlow. Joe Barlow is still a member of the Texas Rangers.
It's okay. That's what I was going to say, yeah.
There's 2 Barlows.
Okay, fair enough.
Want any of the Cardinal relievers that have blown 15 saves and counting? See, that's the kind of – no, I'm serious. That's the kind of trade that you make this year because you're really not going for it.
Right.
And those are perfect change of scenery guys, in my opinion. I mean, a couple of them throw 100.
Mm-hmm.
Go get one of those guys that have blown a bunch of saves somewhere else, and you come in, you change the pitching coach – you change the scenario. It's a good team. It's a momentum builder, and you kind of look brand new. I'm down for that.
Go give me Giovanni Gallegos and Jordan Hicks.
Yes.
Jordan Hicks is from Texas, first of all. He would love to come to Texas. And Giovanni Gallegos is you're talking about a right-hander and a left-hander. Like, those two dudes are young. That first of all, they're still in their 20s. They've got a lot of, I think they still have 3 years till arbitration hits on their 6-year term. And Jordan Hicks, he's a right-hander that throws in the upper 90s. He can get it up to 100. Giovanni Gallegos, another hard-throwing left-hander. Would love to see guys like that come in.
Yeah, bring them home to Mike Maddox.
Yeah, and you're right. A change of scenery sometimes is the best thing for young guys, especially for Jordan Hicks, who's from Texas. You're telling me he wouldn't come here and be like, oh, yeah, let's ride, boys. Let's go and get one.
Yeah. I'm all in for that.
I'd be all in for
relievers leave Texas and be great.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, Martin Perez, he wasn't great, whenever he left here, and he came back, and he's a stud. Now, he hasn't been great in his last couple starts, but you know what you're getting from Martin Perez. And I say he hadn't been great. He gave up, 4 or 5 runs in his last start?
Yeah. I know you were being sarcastic, Ryan, but
you opened up a box of worms, Ryan. I'm kind of in for it now, man. You were being sarcastic, but it kind of talked me into it too.
Bring me Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, Jordan Hicks I'd love to see. And Gallegos, like I said, left-hander with some bump to his fastball. Yeah, give me that. I don't want to see Jose Leclerc anymore. Get rid of him. See ya. Bye. I don't want to see Jose Leclerc pitch for the Texas Rangers any more than I have to. I'd rather see myself go out there and give up a 4-run home run whenever you're up by 6.
Yeah, you can
because
walk
I've walked I can walk the first 3 and give up a jack too. I used to do it all the time. So I'm no longer playing pro ball. Maybe not walk the 3 in a row, but I give up a jack or 2.
A game?
Come on, man.
A week, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe in a week, yeah. At least one a week.
All right. No, you can't have Josh.
You cannot have Josh. No one's ever getting Josh Young.
You can have Josh Smith.
Yeah, Josh Smith.
You didn't specify. Josh Smith for Jordan Hicks deal.
Oh, man. And you got to find a better backup cat. Of course, they DFA'd Sandy Leon yesterday, so thank God. He's awful.
Oh, man.
Just awful. Wrong, Josh.
Oh, I got it. I got it. All right. Carson, any final thoughts today?
No. If you haven't watched the U.S. Open and you're not a golf fan, go watch it because Los Angeles Country Club looks like Shadow Hills right now. It's so easy. You had 2 guys set a U.S. Open round record on their low scoring. They shot 62s yesterday. Xander Schauffele and Ricky Fowler both shot 62s. The lowest round in the U.S. Open before that was a 63. Both 2 of those were at Baltusrol. One was at Shinnecock. But yeah, Los Angeles Country Club looks really, really easy right now for these guys, and it shouldn't be, but it is. There's a 285-yard par 3.
Somebody hit an ace right before we came on.
Really?
Yeah, I missed the name, but I saw somebody hit an ace.
Then there's a guy he's already 8 under, and day 2 is his second day playing, but Wyndham Cox or something like that. It's his name. He's in the rough, like the foot high rough, way off the side. Not even he's in the wilderness basically. If you played out the Rawls course, he's in the the place where they say you can't drive your cart.
Right.
He's in that. He punches one out, and I mean, sky high in the air. He's 20 yards away from the green. He hits this thing 500 yards in the air, lands it 2 feet away from the hole. Like, you know that old PGA Tour commercial? These guys are good. Like, that's every time I see something like that, I'm like, dang. Yeah, not your normal golfer right there. Yeah, Ryan, I would find a way to shoot 120 there, too. I'd stroke myself out on every single hole. I did make myself feel better yesterday by going to Shadow Hills, though. Hadn't played golf in a year, shot a 74. Not mad.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah. Not mad at it.
Good job. All right, my final thought is good for the Red Raider Club and Matador Club merging. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean,
if it pans out, I think it will. I think that's, they all want to do the same thing. We'll see what it looks like in practice. It does, I think, get the Matador Club enough leeway and in the door to take over every sports program, at least the major ones. They've already been dealing with women's basketball.
Softball.
I saw a couple of men's basketball players signing Matador deals.
Softball as well, too, right?
Softball. They signed the baseball team at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously football. So
yeah, it's kind of the obvious answer right here is to combine the two. I mean, you're talking about the Red Raider Club has been around for however many years. It's been there. It's a scholarship fund to help out student athletes. It's funny if you watch the video. Joey McGuire did the voiceover, and he said to watch your favorite students. Never said student athletes, and you're like, this is pretty good. You're like, people are watching their favorite athletes. They don't care about the student part. Most of them, there's grandma and grandpa on Facebook that are commenting every time they see something, about a person running the track team runs a sub 38 the other day in the 4x1. And we don't care that they got disqualified. They still ran a sub 38.
Right.
I'm sure someone on there is like, well, do they go to class? I don't care. Dudes are running sub 38s. Give them their money. These kids work their rear ends off. And when you're in college, and I didn't play at the high, at the Texas Tech level, but I played college baseball. We were pretty good. We were salty. It's a full-time job. And you can't go out and just get a job. So if this stuff was available to me back in those days, and someone came up to me and was like, hey, I'll pay you $2,000 if you'll come sign a couple autographs and kiss some babies and everything. I'm down for that. If someone comes up to me and says, hey, that scholarship that you were making, what if we just made that like a fund where it's just in a bank account and you can pull from it with our guidance and our advice and set you up for life? Would that sound good to you? You dang right it would sound good to me. I wouldn't be in as much debt as I was after college. So especially in baseball and softball, you're not getting a full scholarship. Nobody's on full scholarship. You only have 11 and a half scholarships to give to 28 dudes and 28 women. So that's tough. So these kind of collectives are really nice for baseball, softball. Now, collectives for football and all those things, Deion Sanders was talking about this the other day where he said, the thing that scares him, he's not concerned about NIL getting out of hand. He's concerned about these collectives coming together and getting out of hand in some schools, where I don't think Texas Tech has gotten out of hand in the collective way. They've done it really well, and they've noticed that the collective needs to be for the teams that don't get as much notoriety, that don't get as much spotlight like a football team does, and they've gone out and they've done that. And the women's basketball team before the men, the softball team before the baseball team, all of these things, they're going and they're doing it in what normal people would call a reverse order. Like, this is the smart way of doing this collective.
Football first.
They did football first but they didn't give football like $100,000 a piece.
Right.
They gave football what they're giving to basketball and what they're giving to softball and baseball. And that's what I think is concerning to some of these coaches, is these collectives that are giving football players, saying, come sign here, you get a $50,000 check to sign. Like it's a signing bonus.
Right.
I don't think Texas Tech is doing that.
No, they aren't. I mean, it's not a question. They aren't.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean.
You've seen the leader of the Matador Club, Cody Campbell, writing in what was it, the Dallas Morning News or the Fort Worth Chronicle, that there's a certain way to do it, and he thinks everyone should do it like he's doing it, basically.
Yeah, Fort Worth Star-Telegram, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Either way. It was either the Dallas Morning News.
I'm sure everybody else picked it up. Let's put it that way.
All right, that's all I have today. Appreciate you coming on, Carson. Appreciate the commenters. Has smashed that like button, smash that subscribe button. We're on our way to 1,000. We just passed 500. Once we get to 1,000, we'll be able to do more things for you, with you, by you.
I'm on my way to 300 followers, Rob. I don't know what you're talking
about. Follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, it's under there. I got 288. Been stuck on 288 since our real show stopped.
We'll get you back up to 300. But also subscribe on YouTube.
Go to the Gauchos. Listen to their podcast every week. Listen to the Rob Breaux Show every morning. You won't miss it. You'll be sad that you missed it.
You will be. And then bring us Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, Jordan Hicks, Giovanni Gallegos. I'll see you in Texas.
All right, bye.
Peace.